Hello wonderful people, welcome to another review. This time it's the Artgraph water-soluble graphite blocks by Viarco. In this video I will review the monochromatic set that I purchased myself a while ago. The set contains the colors carbon black, graphite and white. If you're a pigment nerd like me, the names do not necessarily give you a lot of information about what they actually contain. Viarco itself says that these are pigments pressed into Tailor-shaped blocks. And indeed, these are huge in comparison to the usual watercolors we use. As Viarco is a company specialized in drawing supplies and graphites that come in bigger sizes too, this one is actually neat. You could use it straight away and drawing with it on paper, which I didn't do because I was focused on how I can use it for my style, and that is mainly applying it with a brush. As with other supplies, they can be used in many different ways and I can just test properly the techniques that I am comfortable with. The swatches you have just seen will be available in high resolution on Ko-fi to see for everyone, as well as a short written review. I'm not sure yet how and in which form I can include those to the watercolor database. I for sure would love to have the swatches in there as a water-soluble medium maybe. Leave your thoughts down below whether you would like those to be included. If you want to support Sun Colors, consider leaving a tip on Ko-fi to support us with the server costs. Thanks! Let's go back to the graphites. Before painting this painting for the review, I did try the graphites thoroughly by painting monkey portraits mainly, that I shared on Instagram already. When I swatched these, I realized that the graphite one in the center was more difficult to re-wet than the others. The color is light in comparison and it didn't flow as much. Indeed, I almost didn't use it in the painting process myself, as I got the middle tones from the diluted black, and those were wonderful. The strength of the graphite light and other properties. It lifts beautifully, but is indeed difficult to erase. With the light color it was just perfect to make sketches before I started painting for real. When I found that out, I used it for that reason a lot, and I actually see myself doing that in the future too for my watercolor art, as I like the soft look of sketches with a brush. The lines will disappear with the washes and the painting will look organic, as it doesn't put a huge amount of graphite on paper. It will also not muddy up colors as much as water-soluble pencils that I use for the same purpose too. The carbon black is a nice dark dense black color, and I suspect it's a PVK 6 that was used to create it. For further information, also on the other sets, I did email to the company and will let you know as soon as I have the answer. It did flow nicely in water and was very easy to re-wet. Only a few brush strokes were enough to get the pigment going, and it was nice and rich on paper. In enough water, the pigment will spread white and dry, lighter than initially applied. This is something I experienced in a few loose landscapes I made with these. It does also tend to create backgrounds a bit, which you can see in the swatches of the dispersion test I made, where in comparison the graphite didn't run at all and white created a haze over the black surface, while most of the pigment stayed in one spot. The carbon black is easily diluted with water to create middle tones. It doesn't lift well and stains the paper a bit, and it doesn't erase well either, as you can see in the swatches too. In the mass tone you can see a slight granulation happening that is best visible in the background of the piece. In the wet and wet technique you can also see the flowing abilities of the pigment. The white is assumedly a chalk pigment like PW6 that is pretty opaque in the mass tone. On white paper it's not as useful though. I used it for highlights in this piece. The best use I got for this, and it's something I really love, was the painting on toned paper that I did show in the beginning. Some footage of those is left, and I will make a little separate video of painting those. Maybe with a review of the sketchbook that I used. As mentioned, the white is not very flowy. It does not lift well, it does hardly erase. In a wash it will be fairly transparent. For me personally, the monochromatic set was intriguing because I had the toned paper in mind and portraits that I wanted to use it for. In the past I used inks for the same reason, and I knew this palette would work for me already. It's great to practice values if you need it or just want a very limited palette to work with. As I said, I think that the graphite doesn't really fit. As mentioned, I wasn't able to use it for the paintings itself as it's so weak in comparison with the others. A duo of black and white would have worked just as well for a monochromatic set and would have taken a bit less space. The core casing has the size of a 24 pan palette and my painting space on the desk is really limited, so I tend to be aware of the size of the supplies I use. As for the black and white, there were a lot of fun on white paper, but more so on toned paper. I was able to use them as I would work with inks or watercolors. Different from inks, there was a slight granulation in the black that I really loved, and they both dried very matte, which I enjoyed a lot. It wasn't a problem to mix these colors if I needed and use them in combination with watercolors. So for me personally, it's a set that I will come back to and will use it further, but I see limits of the set too. When I purchased it, I also got the 6-color earth set, which I just felt drawn to. As you know, I'm all in for earth colors. The review of the set will come soon with swatches and tests and everything. There's also a primary set available, which I didn't buy, but other channels did review it. Most recently it was Irish Farm Art, which is a small nice channel with lovely art and podcasts. Theo made a review of those a while ago too, and used them for one of his urban sketches. If you enjoyed this review, you might enjoy other reviews on this channel too. Check out the swatches and Ko-fi if you're curious about the set, and have a wonderful and creative day. I hope to see you soon. Bye!